what I'm going to make for you today, well, I'm going to make it for me today. You don't get any, haha. But what I'm going to make is a nice hot and spicy chicken leg with shallots and garlic and butter. Gotta have butter. Garlic and butter. But it's going to be hot and spicy as well, with some nice tomato sauce in it, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm down in a creek bed, which is normally a bad thing to do if you're going to be building a fire. But it was raining real heavy yesterday, and if I didn't sleep in until 5 in the afternoon, I would have definitely came out and cooked this yesterday. Rain or no rain. In fact, the rain would have made it more fun. Right. So I got some nice paper bark that I collected from the underside of a couple of paper bark trees. Even though it's been pouring down rain and everything, well, almost everything is drenched, but this is still nice and dry. Can you hear that? Lovely and dry. See, right, I just twisted up to break up the fibers. It helps with oxygen, and it gives you lots of little spots where it's really fine, and those will take a spark from a ferro rod. Right. There's two ways you can do this when you're out. There's two ways I'll typically do this when I'm out in the bush and I'm using less than perfect tinder. Is one, I'll spray the whole thing in sparks and wait for something to catch, or I'll focus down on one spot. Personally, I normally just spray the whole thing and wait for something to catch, or if that doesn't work, I spray the whole thing, and the parts that almost catch, I'll focus in on them. It's just the way I do it. It looks pretty random, but it looks really random, but there is a little bit, there's a little bit of science to the madness. Alright. And there we go. Nice little flame. Put some stuff above it. Ooh, that's not a good sign. Oh well, guess there was a bit more moisture in this head than I thought. Oh well, now that I've got this charred bit, I'm going to focus in on that, because they'll be the easiest areas to get. Anyway, let's get some of these really broken up hairy bits in there. Those burn real nice. See? It's a little bit more complicated in the wet, but still pretty easy to do. Alright, now we got something. Wow, it is not wanting to burn today. Oh well. Guess it really doesn't get a choice in the matter. I say fire. Oonga boonga. Give me fire. Oog, oog, oog. Oh, and I picked a nice big rock to build this on. 2 reasons. One, it keeps it away from all the moisture. And 2, little rocks filled with water, add a lot of heat, water turns to steam, they explode. I'm hoping it's not going to happen to this rock because it's quite a bit bigger. Oh well. Well, if I explode, then well, I guess you don't get to see the rest of the video. Because exploding is bad. Let me just run you through what I'm planning on cooking here. What I've got There's a nice piece of chicken leg that I've thawed out. So what I'm going to do is, in the lid of this, I'm going to mix up a bit of, I just picked up this tomato paste. It's a herb and garlic one. It says perfect with chicken, so I decided to get that one. No real reasons, just the pasta sauce. It'll be good. It's got garlic and herbs in it. I'm going to mix that up with this pasta sauce, tomato paste. I'll mix it up with some garlic and garlic mayonnaise, salt and pepper. But for my pepper, I ran out of crushed black pepper. They didn't have any already crushed in at the shop, so I picked up this Outback Spirit Australian rub wild pepper. So some kind of Australian wild pepper. Smells pretty nice. More importantly, it comes in a shiny container. Shiny. I like shiny things. Like my knife. Nice and shiny. 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 But, no, back to the cooking. Alright. Shiny. Alright. So, I'm going to mix it with some Mexican chili and Tabasco sauce. The fire's crackling quite well. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off the chicken skin. Still going to be attached right at the base of the leg, but I'm going to peel it back. And I'm going to poke it full of holes. It's got a bit of a bag. Keep that separate to the rest of the food. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it back and free it from the skin just by pulling on it good and cutting it where it needs. Wait, I need. And I'm just going to cover it in holes to let the garlic and other stuff get into it a bit easier. And I'm going to put the skin back on with all of that lovely garlic and sauces and herbs on the inside of the skin. With a little bit of butter, of course. Gonna have it. Oh, delicious. And then I'm just going to lightly char grill it in the coals. Doesn't that sound beautiful? So, pulling back the chicken as far as it'll go by itself, but then you get these bits like this. It's just a matter of persuading it. As well as putting my little herb rub and sauces and stuff I'm making up, I'm also going to be putting in just bits of garlic and butter and chives. Now you could use onions, but I prefer chives. Well, sorry, not chives, shallots. Silly me. I sometimes get their names confused. I just prefer shallots because they have that beautiful, beautiful smell. They're a bit of a sharper flavour. They're a bit more aromatic. You can use the bits of green just for another flavour altogether. And unlike onions, these have a secondary use. If you're good enough, you can use them as nunchucks. And that's how I saved Christmas. But enough about that, back to the cooking. Alright, so I'll just mix up all my concoction in here. Mayonnaise. I'll put just a little bit of the tomato paste on it because, to be honest, we're not going to need anywhere close to one whole one of these, but I can always take it home. Yeah, it's way more sauce than I really need. Right. A lot of butter. But it's gone all really soft. It's about as it's about as soft as the mayonnaise or any of the other sauces, so it's just going to be a matter of pasting it on. That is very different to normal pepper. It smells almost like a citrus. Reminds me of more bolognese herb, crossed with licorice, crossed with lemon. Very weird. Where did I put that salt? Mexican chili. You know what, this is way too much sauce on me. So to be honest, sauces directly onto really hot heat sauces like this have a tendency to just burn up really easily, and it'll probably just turn to charcoal, and as well as that, it'll actually make the charcoal stick to the corn real bad, which is why it's probably not the best idea to coat the outside of the chicken with this, because it'll just make all the charcoal stick to the chicken, and then you've got charcoal flavored chicken, which to be honest is not that appetizing to me. So instead, I'm putting it underneath the skin where it can bubble and sizzle and marinate and do all that beautiful good stuff. Why is there a piece of string there? And I don't have to worry about it sticking all of the ash to it. It's a sauce. I'll put a lot of salt in it. Alright, so now just gonna mix it up. Silly me, forgot Tabasco sauce just for a bit more heat. Just a little bit. Alright then. Poke some big holes in it. Yes, very scientific this. You take the pointy thing, and then you stick it in the thing you want a hole in. Yeah, very scientific. In fact, you could say it's very, very scientific. Which is more scientific than very scientific. This chicken, I don't reckon this chicken was blended very well. It still seems to have quite a bit of blood in it for a cut of chicken. Probably need to leave their chickens a bit longer, but awesome. Now it's full of holes. I'm going to take a sloppy concoction and just smother that thing. Get it all over it. Now comes the tricky part. You gotta try and put the skin back on. And as we put the skin back on, we try and stuff these shallots and as much sauce as we can underneath of it. Because, well, what's the point of having a big whole heap of sauce if you're not gonna cram as much flavour in as possible? I don't know. This is easier at home. It's easier to clean up at home as well. Oh well. Oh well, a little bit on the outside ain't gonna hurt it that bad. Right, so that's our chicken. And that's our fire. And this is how we cook it. yeah. It's not that simple, sadly. Right. Now my tripod's covered in bloop. Oh well. That's why I brought paper towels. Also, I'll sprinkle a bit of salt on it, just to get some salt on the skin, you know, when you do pork crackling. And to help it cook more evenly, I reckon I'll put some of the actual coals on top of it. Kind of like a honey. Kind of not. Oh well. Enough ranting. Show you when it's done. Alright. It's been about 20 minutes and I just can't wait any longer. It just smells too good. I'm worried that I might pull it out too soon and it'll be raw, but to be honest, I'm even more worried about it being turned to charcoal, because I do not want to put all this effort into something and sit by as it smells absolutely delicious and then miss out on it because I left it too long. Alright, let's just Oh, that is. Oh, oh, that is looking good. Oh, little on the light coloured side. Yeah, it might need a bit. Yeah, I think it needs a bit more time. It's looking a little bit on the light side. Oh well. It smells so good though. The skin's kind of breaking away with charcoal, but oh well. Still got all of those lovely juices. I'll stack this heat up around it. I'll just scrape that off. All that charcoal. As much as... Oh, what the hell. That's a little worrying. Kind of touch it. Oh, that's hot on the inside. Oh yeah. I'd say with a bit of temperature like that on the inside, it's probably done. Oh, that's no good. A blood clot. See, this batch of chicken I've been cooking at home, it seems to have a lot of blood oozing out of it. Just kind of sear that like a wound. Kind of cook all that blood up. Yeah. Yeah, well, not everything can turn out perfect. You know what? This is close enough. I can't wait any longer. It is nice. Let's see if I can... Sadly, a lot of the sauce seam came off. Ooh, got that hot fat dripping on me. That's probably a good sign. That skin is mostly charcoal, but it still tastes pretty good. This is nice. I only wish that I had, say, yeah, it could have done with a bit more time. It's kind of soft and, well, it's the right colour. It's white, so it's cooked, but it's not well done. And if I could, I'd get one of those hypodermic needles, like people use for medicines and stuff. Get a nice needle on there into it, and just plain inject this sauce straight into the meat. Might be better if it would probably be a lot better if I had marinated it, but I wanted to show it to you, the whole step out in the bush, and I wasn't gonna make a marinade my chicken out in the bush and then take it home and bring it back out the next day. That's a bit crazy, but oh, it tastes amazing. But I'd rather marinate it as opposed to just throwing the sauce on, because the sauce is amazing, but if you just throw it on just before you cook it, it doesn't have time to penetrate the meat. But it is so good. I am happy.